Hey, it's Deanna. So I already told 99.9% of you the story of how I dumpster dove to get some antiques. Well, I'll tell you again. I'll be Pete the repeat for those of you who haven't heard my story. So one day when I was working at Petco, I hated that place. I loved the animals, but I hated the place. It was a pet store on Long Island, which is a chain store all over America. Well, I was ringing up people at the register, and a customer of mine knew I loved it, knew that I loved antiques, and told me an elderly neighbor of hers passed away, and he was an antiques dealer and collected antiques, and his family rented a dumpster side, like a driveway sized dumpster. It took up a whole entire driveway and was throwing out all of his antiques, his belongings, every single thing. And they just were like clearing out his house. And she said nobody lived there. So I hate doing things that like are dirty. And especially dumpsters give me the heebie jeebies. Like I was like thinking about like all the cooties I could get from that. But at 12 midnight, I got out of work and I could care less about the heebie jeebies and the cooties because there was antiques in there. And that cures my OCD very quickly because I can just take a hot shower. Well, it was 12 midnight, pitch black dark. Now, parts of Long Island at nighttime are so like dark that it looks like one of those haunted, creepy, it almost looks like something out of a horror film. And they didn't have street lights on this block, or not enough street lights. Well, this dumpster was taller than me. I'm 5'4". This thing was like over 6 feet tall. It was pouring rain, torrential downpours. I'm not kidding you. It was thundering and lightning. And I climbed into this dumpster and I sunk into it and it was taller than me. And then I was worried how I was going to get out of it. That's how deep it was. So all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I spied what looked like a face staring at me. And I nearly like passed out from fright. And I pulled one of them up with my gloved hand, and it turned out to be one of these characters. And so I was like really, really, really scared at first. And then I realized these were like, I think they call them Toby jugs. So imagine though that like something like I couldn't get out of the dumpster and I died. And then 3 days later goes by and the dumpster company comes to take their dumpster. And then they have to tell my family. Like my family didn't even know I was doing this. And imagine I went missing. They would have been like, well, where did Deanna go? Like, why hasn't she come home? And then maybe they would think I ran away from home. But then imagine being found in your most horrible, like last, like outfit that you ever wore before you dropped dead, and it being a retail uniform. Oh my God, retail clothes are like they try to pick the most ugliest clothes that can humiliate a person even more. And I was wearing brown. Yes, the retail store I was working at the time was a pet store, and it was brown, the uniform. Brown because it was such a shitty job. I'm sorry, guys. I know that's a bad language, but it's true. That job was really shitty. Imagine being found dead in it. All right, so back to what I found. So I was like, ew, what the hell is that? And it scared the living crap out of me. And then I realized that these might be Toby jugs, right? And I think that's an English thing. And so they made like face jugs with different characters from, I think, literature and scoundrels of the day. So I don't know who this is supposed to be, but he looks frightening, doesn't he? With his little teeth and his like Punch and Judy look. He has like Punch and Judy type of nose. Remember those puppets that used to beat each other? And there's no marking on the bottom. On the inside, it's like a really pretty greenish blue. I don't know. I don't know if they call these pearlware also, but it's pottery nonetheless. Then I found this character who looks like someone who's androgynous. I didn't know at first if it was a man or a woman, and then I looked and I thought, yeah, it's a man, and he has like this page boy style hairdo and wrinkles. And so when I lifted him up to check to see if he had marks, he was marked on the bottom Royal Dalton, Pied Piper, 1953. So it's really not an antique, but to find these in the garbage was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool score. So once again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys all soon. So long.